Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today for our Yin Yoga practice. Today we will be focusing on lower back release. So many of us can have a little flare up in the lower back from time to time, or maybe sometimes it's even chronic for you. So I'm hoping that this practice today will give you a little release and a little relief. Our practice today, or our props that we'll be needing for our practice today, will be yoga blocks. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to get started in an easy seated pose. And we're going to start with pranayama today. So pranayama is breath focus or breath technique. And we will be using this pranayama through our practice today. So we're going to take a few breaths to really allow yourself to feel the sensation of what you should be feeling from this particular practice, okay? So let's just let the hands rest on the knees. Take an inhale, lengthen, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, let the shoulders melt down the back. And start with a cleansing breath. So inhale through the nose to your belly. Open mouth, exhale. And just allow yourself to come back to the natural flow of your breath. Letting go of any tension in the jaw or in the brow. And bringing your mind and your body to this time of being present with yourself and for your practice. And setting that intention for yourself to be present. One more breath here. And now keeping your eyes closed, we're going to come into our pranayama. The pranayama today is called equal breath. So what we'll be doing is inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but we're going to inhale for the count of 4. And I want you to focus on sending the breath all the way down to the belly and filling the belly up front to back and side to side. Let's take an inhale for the count of 4. Pausing at the top of that inhale. And then exhaling through the nose for the count of 4, letting everything just softly contract back. Good. Then inhaling again for the count of 4. Pausing. And exhaling. Let's continue to do this for a few more rounds, going at your own pace. Really feeling into the sensation of the belly filling up front to back, side to side. And feeling it contract back. And last breath. Let's take a cleansing breath now, inhaling through the nose, filling the belly up, front to back, side to side. Open mouth, exhale. And slowly opening your eyes. Nice. We'll be bringing that into our poses today. So we're going to make our way into child's pose. And come up onto your hands and knees and grab one of your blocks. I'm not going to give you an option here to use the block here in your child pose. So let's bring the big toes to touch. Widen the knees about the width of your mat, or if that's too much, you can bring them in a little bit, but at least wider than the hips. You want to send those hips right back towards the heels. And then we'll walk the arms out. Now the option here with your block is, if for the lower back, it might feel good to put the block underneath your chest. That will support the chest not coming down as low and putting so much pressure on the lower back. And then we'll let the forehead come down to the mat. And just gently reaching the arms forward. So we're not looking to really pull ourselves into this deep, deep extension here. We still want to keep it yin. So letting the arms be soft. Good. Now let's take our pranayama breath here into the belly. So inhaling for the count of 4, filling up front to back, side to side. Pausing. And exhaling through the nose for the count of 4. Good. Let's take another breath just like that. And as you exhale for the count of 4, let everything soften and release. So we want to let the hips and the glutes and the legs all softly release here. Letting go of any tension in the jaw. Breathing here. Breathing into any tight spots, especially the lower back. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Here on our last breath, let's use our pranayama. So inhaling through the nose for the count of 4. Pausing. And now this time exhaling through the mouth for the count of 4. Good. And we're going to bring the hands back towards us. So the hands are aligned underneath the shoulders on the mat. And then we'll press our hands into the earth. Pull the belly in slightly to support the lower back. If you're using your block, just move the block off to the side. Gently walk the knees and thighs in towards one another. Come to roll yourself up. Just to sit on your heels just for a minute here. Inhale, lengthen, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Roll the shoulders back and down. Good. One more breath here. Then we'll come to sit over to the left hip, swing the legs around and out in front of us. And we're going to make our way into a caterpillar pose here. You can have your blocks handy. I always like to move the flesh out from my cheeks to really ground down through the sit bones. And then to lengthen through the legs, just flex through the feet. And then release the flex, because remember in our yin practice, we want the muscles relaxed. So we don't want them engaged or active here. Now typically in our yin practice, in our forward folds, we come into a rounded spine. But since we're focusing on the lower back, we don't want to do that and putting any pressure on the lower back or any disc issues you may be having. So you want to keep the back nice and flat today. So bring the hands out in front, take an inhale, send the chest forward, and then exhale, coming down with a flat back. And depending on your flexibility in the hamstrings and the lower back, your pose may be a little higher, or maybe you're able to come down a little lower. Totally depends on how your body's feeling today. And what I want you to focus on is, again, checking in over and over with the legs, because as the body begins to release, the legs might want to engage. They forget that they're supposed to be soft, so we get to gently remind them to release. Good. Maybe here you want to use your blocks while still keeping the back nice and flat and straight. And kind of walk the blocks in, changing the height, and just let the head come down. That feels good for you. Or otherwise, just letting the upper body be supported with gravity here, coming deeper into your pose. Maybe it still feels good to let the chin come in towards the chest. You may feel a deeper stretch down the spine. Let's take our pranayama breath here. So inhaling through the nose for the count of 4 to the belly, front to back, side to side. Pausing. Exhaling through the nose for the count of 4, letting everything soften. Letting the jaw be relaxed and the facial muscles. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Good. Keeping the back nice and flat. Let's just walk the hands in towards one another. Press the hands into the earth and then slowly come to rise. Let's do the same thing that we did as we came out of our child's pose. So take an inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Roll the shoulders back and down. Taking a breath here. Good. Then we'll open our eyes and we're going to make our way down onto our backs. And just shift the hips forward and then lower yourself down nice and easy. Right away, bring the knees into our chest, gently rocking side to side, massaging the lower back, lumbar. And then let's extend the legs up, the feet towards the sky. And just point and flex through the feet, maybe rotate through the ankles. Feeling the lower back pressing into the earth. And then we'll bend the knees, bringing them back into the chest, and then lower your feet down one at a time, planting the feet on your mat. And we're going to make our way into a supported child's pose. So having one block handy. Now I really like to guide through coming in and out of supported bridge. So instead of just lifting the hips up and placing the block underneath, I like to have it be really mindful. So have your feet about the width of your hips. You want to press down through your feet. And we're going to take an inhale into the belly. As you exhale, press the belly button towards the back of the spine. Then you're going to curl your pelvic floor up towards the belly button and then lift up your hips. And then we'll place the block on its lowest level, right underneath the hips, underneath the sacrum. And then just let the hips come to rest on your block. Or if you have a firm cushion, you can do that as well. And then we'll just let the arms fall to the side with the palms facing up or maybe down, whatever feels most comfortable for you here. Let the upper body, the upper back, just sink down into the earth and releasing any gripping or holding going on in the hips. So the lower body may be like, oh my gosh, we have to hold this pose, but we want that to not happen. So we want the hips to soften and release and just open up, letting the body know that it's completely supported here on your block. And this creates a little bit of lengthening and traction through the lower back and spine. And tuck the chin in slightly. So notice if your chin is up towards the sky, gently tuck the chin in to elongate through the spine and neck. Taking 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Good, now from here, we're going to slowly bring one knee in towards the chest at a time. Supported here on your block. Take a full inhale into your belly. As you exhale, let the belly soften. Let the legs and knees become even heavier, just falling in towards you. Checking in with the chin again, gently bringing it in. Good. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then from here, we're going to come into a supported waterfall, or also known as legs up the wall variation. So just extending the legs all the way up. You want to make sure that the feet are aligned over the hips, so you don't want the feet like over toward your head or too out further away from the body. So aligned right over the hips. Good. And letting the feet just be soft, so we don't need to flex the feet here. This is really tight in your hamstrings. You can have a gentle bend in the knees. Taking a full belly breath. Exhale, let the belly soften. Feel the upper back sinking into the earth even more. Taking 3 breaths here. Last breath. Good. Slowly bend the knees, bringing the knees back in towards the chest. And then lowering the feet, planting the feet one at a time back on the mat. And we're going to mindfully come out of our supported bridge just as we came into it. Take an inhale in through the nose to the belly. Exhale, pulling that belly in. Curl the pelvic floor towards the belly button, pressing into the feet, lifting up the hips. And then removing the block, staying here in your bridge. And now we'll lower the upper back down, the mid back down, lower back down, and then the hips. And then just allow the back to sink down into the earth. And just feel that release happening. And taking another breath here. Nice. Now let's bring that right knee in towards the chest, using both hands to hold the knee in. And then we'll extend that left leg out. So heel is on your mat. Let's flex through that left foot, so lengthening through the leg. And then release the flex, let the muscles of that left leg relax. Taking a full inhale into your belly. As you exhale, let the belly soften. Maybe you're able to gently bring that right knee in towards the chest even more, or maybe you even open it up a little, bringing it more over towards the right armpit. Taking 2 more breaths here. Now we'll make our way into a supine twist. So we'll take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that right knee across the chest, and then using our left hand to support, bringing that right knee all the way across the body into the floor. If you're not able to bring the knee all the way to the floor, you can always use one of your blocks underneath that right knee. And then we'll open up that right arm out to the side with the palm facing up. Maybe looking over to the right hand. Taking a full inhale into your belly. Exhale, let the belly soften, the lower back release, the glutes, the hips, and the legs. Holding here for 5 breaths. Last breath. Bring the head back to center. Bring the right arm to the body. And then we want to bring that right knee into the chest. Slowly roll on to the back. Bring the left knee in, and then gently rocking side to side. And we'll make our way to the other side. So we'll hug that left knee into the chest. Extending that right leg out, bringing the heel to the mat. Flex through that right foot, lengthen through the leg. Release the flex, release the muscles. Take a full inhale to the belly. Exhale, let the belly soften. Let that left knee come in closer, maybe over towards the left armpit. Taking 2 breaths here. And we'll make our way into our twist. So take an inhale. And then we'll exhale, gently begin to bring that right knee across the body, left knee across the body all the way over to the right side. using the support of the right hand, maybe using a block underneath the knee, and then opening up that left arm, palm facing up. Looking over to the left, if that feels good in your neck. Taking a full belly breath. Exhale, soften and release. And taking 5 slow, deep, yummy breaths here. Last breath. Let's take a cleansing inhale and exhale, and using our pranayama. So inhale for the count of 4, pausing, and then exhaling out the mouth for the count of 4. Bringing the head back to center, left arm to the body, left knee into the chest, start rolling onto your back, and then bringing the right knee in, gently rocking side to side. And let's once again extend those legs all the way up, feet towards the sky, pointing and flexing through the feet. Rotate through the ankles. And we'll bring the knees back into the chest, giving ourselves a big hug here. So really hug the knees and thighs in towards the body. Take a full belly breath. Actually, let's do one of our pranayama breaths here. So inhaling through the nose for the count of 4, filling the belly up front to back, side to side. Exhaling through the mouth for the count of 4. Good. Then we'll open the arms, bringing them to the sides of the body with the palms facing up. Lower your feet down one at a time. And then extending the legs out, coming into our final pose, Savasana. Letting the feet just fall open to the side. Taking a full belly breath. Open mouth, exhale. Letting the body, the bones, the muscles, everything just surrender and release and sink down into the earth. Your only job here is to surrender. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Or let's take a cleansing breath. Wiggling the fingers and the toes, and gently rocking the head side to side. Reaching the arms up overhead, pointing the toes for a nice deep stretch. Take an inhale, bring the knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Making your way into fetal pose, either to the left or the right side. Taking a breath here. And then slowly pressing yourself up. We'll make our way into an easy seated pose. Letting the hands rest on the knees or the thighs. Taking a cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose to your belly. Open mouth, exhale. Taking a moment to tune in. Notice how the lower back is feeling. May this practice have brought some release to your lower back and any other area of your body that was needed. Bringing the palms of the hands together at heart center. Gently bowing our heads. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you for doing this practice for yourself. May you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.